But has anyone ever truly captured the raw, unbridled essence of electric guitar quite like the Seattle-born virtuoso who revolutionized music in the 1960s? Decades after his untimely passing, a remarkable resurgence is bringing his name back to center stage, igniting conversations in every corner of the music world. What mysterious force has rekindled this fascination with rock's most innovative guitarist? The answer begins in Washington State's capital, where an overdue recognition has sparked a cultural phenomenon that's rapidly spreading across America. Contemporary artists are now scrambling to participate in a nationwide celebration that's drawing unprecedented attention from fans both young and old. But to understand why this matters so deeply, we need to journey back to where it all began. Born into challenging circumstances in the Pacific Northwest during the early 1940s, our protagonist faced family instability from his earliest days. His father's military service kept him absent, while his mother, barely out of her teens herself, struggled with the demands of parenthood. Their turbulent relationship and persistent financial hardships created a fractured childhood environment where security remained elusive. The situation grew so dire that several siblings were temporarily placed in foster care, highlighting the profound instability that characterized his formative years. When his mother passed away during his mid-teen years, his father's response, offering spirits rather than emotional support, revealed the detachment that defined their relationship. "This is how men deal with loss," his father told him, unwittingly pushing him further toward the solace he would find elsewhere. His salvation arrived in an unlikely form, a discarded single-stringed ukulele discovered while helping his father clean houses. This modest instrument, rescued from abandonment, became the first step on a remarkable journey. Teaching himself to play by ear, studying Elvis Presley recordings with intense dedication, he discovered an escape through music that transcended his difficult circumstances. His first actual guitar, finally purchased by his father following his mother's death, became his constant companion and emotional outlet. After dropping out of high school, he navigated a series of local bands while occasionally resorting to sleeping in abandoned vehicles when money ran short. He observed other performers with meticulous attention, incorporating their techniques, like playing with teeth, into his own repertoire, though he would later elevate these moves far beyond mere imitation. A brush with the law presented him with a stark choice: incarceration or enlistment. Choosing the latter, he joined an elite airborne division with a storied combat history. Military service provided structure but not fulfillment for his creative spirit. His letters home revealed his dissatisfaction with rigid military protocols, though his guitar, which he'd named Betty Jean, remained his sanctuary. His 13-month stint ended with an honorable discharge officially attributed to injury, though records suggest performance issues played a significant role. The silver lining, a friendship with bass player Billy Cox that would prove pivotal in his musical development and future career. Post-military years saw him developing his craft in Tennessee clubs, perfecting unorthodox techniques that would become his signature. The demands of Southern audiences pushed him toward showmanship. Playing behind his head and with his teeth became necessary survival tactics in venues where mediocrity wasn't tolerated. "Down there, you have to play with your teeth or else you get shot," he once remarked, capturing the intense pressure to distinguish himself from countless other performers. Financial realities on the circuit were harsh and unforgiving. One veteran musician recalled that payment sometimes came solely in the form of meals rather than money, emphasizing the difficult path faced by aspiring artists, particularly those of color, during America's segregation era. His pivotal relocation to New York's Harlem district connected him with supportive figures who would sustain him through this challenging period. A girlfriend provided crucial stability, while musically connected twins helped introduce him to the local scene. An Apollo Theater amateur night victory boosted his confidence, confirming his ability to command audience attention as a frontman rather than merely a supporting player. This triumph led to recording opportunities with established acts like the Isley Brothers, where his first studio session introduced him to professional recording environments. Despite contributing to tracks that gained modest chart recognition, his frequent band changes, from Little Richard's group to Curtis Knight's ensemble, revealed his creative restlessness and ambition for something more defined by his own artistic vision. The transformative moment came through a chance encounter with Chas Chandler, former bassist for The Animals, who recognized extraordinary potential in his Greenwich Village performances. An invitation to London in autumn 1966 launched him toward international recognition with barely more than his instrument and borrowed funds in hand. The airport where he landed had just been renamed, a symbolic new beginning that mirrored his own imminent transformation. Within mere days of arriving in England, a new trio formed that would redefine rock music's boundaries. Legal troubles mounted, culminating in a Toronto drug possession arrest that threatened decades of imprisonment, though ultimately acquitted after an agonizing trial that required him to temporarily abandon his flamboyant image for courtroom appearances. The stress compounded his growing disillusionment with industry pressures, relentless touring demands, and personal expectations. His final European tour reflected his deteriorating condition. A Swedish performance became particularly distressing for attendees, who witnessed a disjointed set that suggested profound exhaustion or impairment. This appearance came shortly after being confronted with paternity claims that added emotional strain to his already fragile state. 2 weeks later in London, following a night that remains shrouded in conflicting accounts, he was discovered unresponsive in a Notting Hill apartment. Medical responders encountered a tragic scene that one paramedic described as among the worst he had witnessed. Despite emergency intervention, he was pronounced deceased before afternoon, another brilliant creative force lost at the haunting age of 27, joining a tragic cohort that would later include other luminaries like Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse. The circumstances surrounding his death sparked questions that persist decades later. Despite a 1992 investigation that revisited the case, definitive answers remain elusive, adding a layer of mystery to an already mythologized figure. Fast forward to 2025. Washington state has finally bestowed its highest civilian honor on their revolutionary son, recognizing his global cultural impact after more than 5 decades. The Medal of Merit ceremony in Olympia brought together government officials and family representatives to acknowledge his enduring significance beyond mere entertainment. Governor Ferguson's declaration of his status as one of the most influential guitarists of all time officially codified what music enthusiasts had long understood. Simultaneously, a celebration tour has returned after pandemic-enforced absence, bringing his compositions to contemporary audiences across America. This 33-city musical tribute features current guitar luminaries like Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Zakk Wylde, and Marcus King interpreting his revolutionary compositions. Their individual styles, while distinct from the original creator, collectively demonstrate the enduring adaptability and relevance of his musical vision. Perhaps most poignantly, an 88-year-old blues legend, one of the few musicians our subject himself cited as an influence, is emerging from retirement specifically for the tour's Atlanta conclusion. This rare appearance by Buddy Guy creates a circular connection between generations of guitar mastery, honoring a friendship formed during the height of the psychedelic era, when two innovators from different musical generations found common ground. What makes this revival particularly meaningful in today's cultural landscape? Perhaps it's the recognition that true innovation transcends time, or the acknowledgement that artistic vision can emerge from the most challenging beginnings. Maybe it's the realization that his technical breakthroughs, creating sounds previously unimaginable from an electric guitar, continue to inspire even as technology evolves dramatically around us. The catalog director who manages his musical legacy recently emphasized that despite the business aspects, merchandising, and commemorations, everything ultimately returns to the music itself, the revolutionary compositions and performances that permanently altered our understanding of what 6 strings and amplification could achieve. As new generations discover these soundscapes and veteran fans revisit familiar recordings with fresh appreciation, the conversation around this guitar pioneer has reignited with unexpected intensity. Social media platforms buzz with discussions of his techniques. Philosophers debate the meaning behind his more abstract compositions, and young musicians study grainy footage, attempting to unlock the secrets behind his distinctive approach.